Here we are, Toronto home studio, and my name is Robin Black. You're on my YouTube channel, I think, and I analyze fights. I try to break down martial arts contests, and that's what I love to do. And currently, there is not a martial arts contest to break down. Khabib Nurmagomedov is brilliant. And he was fighting Tony Ferguson, who got injured falling down because he wore sunglasses. And then he was fighting Max Holloway, who's amazing and this brilliant fighter, but he's young and it was only 6 days. And he's quite big and he never made the weight. And then he was fighting Anthony Pettis, and I don't know what the fuck happened there. And there was something about Paul Felder and or Al Iaquinta. There are many questions coming up, and I value you and your questions. But I like to analyze fights. One martial artist, another, some of their past fights, what they do, how they train, how they think. I just need a fight. I just need one. Anyone. So we have looked at Rose Namajunas versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. That is maybe going to be the main event. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that. So somebody here, Al Iaquinta 155.2, Pettis 155.2, asked for more money, Paul Felder. They said no to Paul Felder, I heard. Weigh-ins are RFB Records, yes sir. So yeah, there's a lot of questions coming by. Again, valuable, and I really want to chat with you about them. I just don't know what to do here. Because I want to talk about fights. That's what I love to do. You watch them and you see how they move and what the little moments that they create and what all happens inside the cage. Hate that so much focus on what happens outside. Yeah, should I just sit here? Can you guys have any questions about martial arts or fights or fighters or the fight Rose versus Joanna? The rematch aspect is very much a part of it because the mind, if you look on my Instagram at Robin Black MMA. Someone's ready to riot here. Landon, rioting. How does Felder match up with Khabib? Felder's inexperienced. He's very talented, very strong, physically very strong. But you know what's up with all Felder, Pettis, Tony, Max. We could literally have the same conversation. So let's do that. Who cares about your Instagram, Robin? I don't know. Why are you doing it? Why are you here? If you don't care about my shit. That's weird. Somebody said, tell us what's happening. I don't know, man. I don't know. It sounds like Khabib, there will be no fight. Okay, it's the same fight. It's the exact same thing. So I was discussing this with some people earlier today. There's a lot of questions. Please accept my apology if they fly by. Don't be afraid to pop them back up. This will be a couple of minutes. We were discussing this earlier today. A lot of fighters, you hear them say, it doesn't matter what my opponent does, bro, it's what I need to do. I have to concentrate on what I'm doing in this fight. And that's sometimes true, but with Khabib, that's not true. You must be aware and understand and recognize what it is Khabib is doing, going to do, planning to do, and good at. And I think we all kind of have seen, and we do see, there are moments where he has pinned you in such ways that you are trapped with nothing to protect either both are pinned or you have to post or something. You cannot protect yourself, and he has a free weapon. From that spot, to get to that spot, you're in a lot of trouble. From that spot, he gets it from a not quite as dominant spot. That's a fight. To get to that not quite as dominant spot, he had to make you surrender the takedown. That's a fight. To do that, he had to initiate a takedown. That's a fight. To get a hold of you in a full grip, that's a fight. All the way out. You need to win some of those earlier fights. Khabib versus Iaquinta is official, somebody said. Breaking news. Is that true? Anybody, can anyone confirm this? Can anyone confirm that Iaquinta versus Khabib is confirmed? I said the word confirm 3 times in there. And because I need to know if that's actually confirmed. Because then we can start talking about the fight. We can, Raging Al Iaquinta, get the shot in his home state. Fake news, somebody's saying. Don't fake news me. Don't fucking fake news us here. So, Here's a good question for you. Ariel Helwani tweeted it. He usually will be certain. Ariel will. He is very rarely not checking his sources, and when I say very rarely, maybe never. So, Ariel Helwani. Ally Quinta is still in play for tomorrow, I'm told, is what Ariel has said. Ariel and the dude from Brett from ESPN. Brett is very reliable. Brett Okamoto. Normally, I don't look to people's tweets for stuff, but we're desperate. We need to know what's going on. Ally Quinta is still in play for tomorrow, I'm told. That's really cool. Remember when Ally Quinta recently, I think it was with Ariel, said that I am fighting Khabib. You see how fucking tough that guy is? I want way more money to fight him. Maybe I'll get way more money to fight him. Yep, verified account, more. Yeah, that's, hey, listen. Ariel is never going to give you information that he hasn't checked. Ariel, Brett, John Morgan, some of these guys that have been around for a long time and are very, like, journalistic integrity guys. I don't know about any of that shit. I'm not a journalist. I'm a fucking analyst. How will they handle the belt if I don't know about belts? I know about fights. Does not get a fight. Connor has the belt while Tony has the interim. Yeah, I mean, if there's no fight, who the fuck? Ariel triple checks. Somebody, Grapple Daily, said Ariel double checks. Ariel triple checks, quadruple checks. These guys, Ariel, Brett Okamoto, a few of these other guys, their entire credibility is based on the fact that you can count on what they're saying. So they are never going to sell that out. So there is a nice. These are when my job is when there isn't shit like this going on. My job is to, in the lead up, try to tell you about the fights and after the fights and stuff. These guys' jobs is when this shit is happening. That's when they're the key to they're the key. So good for them. I'd hate to see this affect Rose Namajunas in her first title defense. Pettis only ranked fighter. Oh yeah, Ally Quinta. Ally Quinta might be in the close to the top 10. How do you think the bust event? Rose, hey, listen, shit like that. So there's going to be other questions, but I'm going to leave them because that's a great question. How will the bus event affect Rose? Now, I can't tell you the answer to that. She's a human being. But I can tell you some aspects of that matter. And that is, none of these things are black and white. So you're not either fucked or not fucked. You're not either like, oh my God, I'm rattled, or you're not rattled. You also can be rattled and then feel better about it and then become rattled again. These are not, when you like, we saw Ronda Rousey shaken at the weigh-ins by Holly Holm. People are like, oh, she's fucked, including me back then. I was like, oh, you could see but there's 36 hours to be able to calm yourself. If you think about it from your own perspective. Yeah, somebody there, Gerald said, he just said he's in play. And that's true. That is what he said. It's right here. I've got it up. Brett, who's also my boy, these are my friends. It's funny, people will be like, Ariel and Robin Black are not friends. We're friends. We're happy to see each other all the time. We always catch up. And Brett is a good friend too. And I had both of them in my GSP doc. I asked both of them. We did a GSP doc up here for my job, a half-hour documentary where I followed George around, and those were the two journalists that I requested. And I asked them and I called them because they're the best. There. So good for, these are the times when the shit is like this, that's where they're important. Guys like that. A lot of the time I'm like, holy fuck, journalists, and neither of these guys are my specific example of this. It's like, all they want to do is talking about drama and create drama and who, what, where, and why did they say it? Oh my God, they said this about Anderson Silva. But there are, and sometimes all that is true. Not these guys specifically, just the nature of journalism. But then there are other times where quality journalists like these two are very important. Sucks seeing this happen. Pettis shouldn't be getting, should be, shouldn't be. Titles aren't, at this point, what fucking title? So I'm not trying to criticize, but somebody's like, he shouldn't be getting a title shot. What title are we talking about here? Conor McGregor's title that he didn't lose? Or Tony Ferguson's title that he won by beating Kevin Lee that he didn't lose? You know what I mean? you know what I'm saying here? Al Iaquinta, Pettis, whoever. It's just a made-up title. Like, all titles are just made-up titles. They were made up once, and then people competed for them. Titles are unimportant to me. They're unimportant to me. They're important to the fighter because they make more money. And they're important to the fighter because they make more money. And the reason they make more money is because people put value on them. But if you look at the reality of it, it's it's an object and something people say. Al is fighting Khabib, so who will Paul Felder fight? Al is not fighting Khabib yet, but it sounds like he could be fighting Khabib. And Paul Felder will fight Pettis. No, they're friends. They train together. They won't fight. Probably will fight nobody, I guess. I don't know. They won't fight. Yes, Hot Lava. ShopRobinBlack.com. You can get that. Main event will be scrapped most likely, somebody says. So, thank you for hanging in here with me. And thank you for having great perspectives and helping me out with different ways of looking at this. Because somebody here, my fucking bear video that 420,000 people have watched just on Twitter alone. Somebody's like, and y'all act like this man was scared to get off the bus, and it's like him, fighting the bear. Thank you guys. Breaking news: Khabib versus Iaquinta official. My sources are far above from the mothership. Come on, man. Come on, bro. GSP versus Bear. I don't know. So we're just sitting here. I guess I just go, unless we get something soon. But so, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the people that could fight him. Same fight, same deal for all of them. The further away from him you are, the more steps it is until he's crushing you and beating you up. Okay? It goes from where you start out here. That's great. I can punch and kick you, and he can punch and kick me. As the distance closes, his goal will be to get some grip of some kind on me. That grip of some kind he uses to lead to a stronger grip. That grip he uses to pull into something, often body lock, lace the leg, single leg entry, high crotch grab. From there, he fights to get you to the ground. From there, he fights to pass your guard and force you to turtle or to take bottom cross side. In those positions, he dominates you and smashes you, looks to get to an even more dominant position where he locks up parts of your body and then keeps at least one or more weapons of his free, and then he feeds you shots until you're in deep shit. How many steps is that? 5, 6, 7, and then there's little micro steps in between them? You must stop some of those from happening, and as they happen, you must try to hurt him. So we're out here in the middle of nowhere. He has 0 grips on me. I got to hurt him. And why am I saying how do you beat Khabib? Because Khabib is 25-0. And when people are undefeated, the conversation will inevitably. And if that's true, if I'm sitting there hanging out with Duke Rufus at fights, or if I'm talking to a coach or an analyst or a fighter, the conversation will, Mike Brown at ATT, I like to chat with him whenever I see him, any of these guys. When we're hanging around, Michael Bisping, so if I'm talking to Michael Bisping about Khabib, the conversation is, how the fuck will you beat him? Not because people don't like him. They fucking love him. I love Khabib. Love him. Massive fan. But the conversation gets towards, how do you beat him? So that's normal. Yeah, there's a Forgotten Rebel sign. Somebody mentioned it. It's back here somewhere. So how do you beat him? And the answer is, from space, we can both punch and kick. We have a better chance there. He then moves in to try to get some grip on you. Obviously, we need to break that grip and hurt him. If he gets that grip, he will get a tighter grip or a better hold of you. We need to break that back and hurt him. If he gets that, then he tries to tear you to the ground. We need to stop that, break that, hurt him. All of these things are very fucking hard. BJ Penn announced how he is quite close to 55 and can fly in by morning to save. I love BJ. I want to take that guy out for fish tacos, but nobody wants to see that. Although, no, actually, having said that, I'd kind of like to see that. BJ would literally be sitting there going, I can land some punches from the outside, and if we go down, fuck competing with wrestling, be much closer to the Tony Ferguson approach. The reason the Tony Ferguson fight was so fascinating is because Tony would fight him on the ground. The plan was fight him in that battlefield. Fight him in space too, and if we can land, great. But as he goes to take you down, you don't have to fight it. You just have to get to a guard position where you can be in position to work. You know, work your guard up and work up to a mission control and snap jitsu. Yeah. So that was fascinating. Everybody else doesn't want to fight him on the ground. When they're on the ground, they want to get back to their feet. And somebody asked about Paul Felder. Paul Felder, because he's still in development as a full mixed martial artist, much further ahead with his kickboxing and hands and feet and elbows. But in that area, the modern trainers have been training guys of that age, that fighting age, to stand back up. Standing back up against Khabib is very hard, and in the process of getting up, he gets dominant positions. And that's a whole other thing we can talk about another day. But as we all get back to our feet, there are moments on your way up where guys access your back and really fuck you up. And Khabib's really good at that. That's what he would try to do against Felder. He'd probably try to do that against Pettis too. And he'd probably try to do that against all of them. Iaquinta, somebody said, yeah, Iaquinta's still being discussed. Anyways, it's the same fight no matter what. And for those of us that are Khabib fans, and I'm a fan of both guys in most fights, but if you're a fan of Khabib, here's the beauty for him. Tony's a little different, but that's long gone. That's a week past. Start cutting weight, get in there. I'm about 158 pounds. If I jog up and down the stairs a few times, I should be fine. But I'm not fighting fucking Khabib. What are you, nuts? Are you crazy? Who the fuck would want to get the shit kicked by Khabib? That would be the worst beating you could possibly imagine. And a terrible, painful, exhausting one, too. Robin, how do you think this will affect Khabib's performance? That'll be our last thing we'll deal with. So Tony was a very different thing, and he was preparing for that. But every other one of these guys, all of them, Max, Pettis, Felder, Iaquinta, all of them, the exact same strategy that Khabib has. The same strategy that the War Master, Josh Barnett, had for many years. The same strategy that Ronda Rousey had when she was dominating. Totally different game, different level of skills when she was, the women she was fighting compared to this, but same strategy. At times, Gunnar Nelson has this strategy, less ornery, more eventually get to your back. He forks off of this. Ben Askren, the strategy is take space away, get on top, crush, dominate, smash. Simple. Doesn't matter which one of them is in there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's Anthony Pettis. Doesn't matter if it's Max Holloway. Doesn't matter if it's Raging Al or Paul Felder. His plan is identical. And people stop it with the breaking news. Breaking news. Chiesa files police report against Connor. That's not important to me. I don't care about that stuff. Connor acted like an asshole, and here we are. And think about it logically. His thinking's probably, let's go make a scene. And then, that's important. It'll help promote the fight. And then things just flies off the handle and, starts getting all worked up. And he's very overly passionate and actually puts himself in, just overdoes it and fucks up. And, I'm a fan of his as a martial artist, but that doesn't mean, that kind of shit sickens me. But any updates, Robin, is Khabib fighting? Honestly, I was hoping you guys would tell me. That's why I'm sitting here chatting with you. I hope you guys had something for me. But, like I said, if I leave you with nothing else, it is no matter who it is, it doesn't affect Khabib. For Khabib, they are just a body. They literally are a body. That's all they are. He closes, he grips, he tears down, he physically improves his position, he pins something down with one or more weapons of his up. And if you get out, if you're lucky enough, not many do, he does it again. He does it again. He fucking does it again. And if you back him up a little bit, so you're not fully down, you part up, he'll fight until you're down. Get up again, he'll fight until you're down. You escape, he'll immediately close distance again. Close the distance, get some kind of grip on you. Improve that grip to a stronger grip. Get it to a dominant standing position, body lock, whatever. Tear you to the ground, do whatever work has to be done. Second, third, fourth, 27th effort, whatever. make you surrender the takedown. Then get you in a better position, then start pinning things, and then destroy you. That is what Khabib does, and it doesn't matter which one of them is in there. That's what he will plan to do. And whichever one is there, they will plan to stop him, and 25 people haven't yet. One may one day do it, and when they do, they'll do it by keeping the space. Sentiment appears to be that Al Iaquinta is emerging as the front runner. This is absurd. This is absurd. If Al Iaquinta is confirmed, please check back with me, and we'll talk about that immediately. Otherwise, thank you guys for hanging with me. All this kind of shit makes me feel a little crappy. And you guys, somebody said, can Khabib still win the belt if Iaquinta can't? Fuck, I don't know. We're making it up as we go along at this point. A lot of it is completely uncharted territory. I will be back once there is an actual fight. All right? But thank you guys. You guys really fucking do a lot for me, and I appreciate it big time. For real. I would say enjoy the hostilities, my friends, but who knows? Black out.